Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. As always, we are just going to watch a couple of interviews after the Spanish Grand Prix, and we are just going to start with the Max Verstappen, and let's listen to him.
Hi Max, I imagine you know my first question. Was the move on George intentional? My first question has to be, was the move on George intentional when you turned in?
Does it matter?
I think so, to people watching.
Yeah? Okay. That's great. I mean, I prefer to speak about the race than just one single moment.
The moment itself got you a 10-second penalty though, and that pushes you back down to 10th, so it affects your driver's title hopes this year.
If there are any. So I think we are way too slow anyway to fight for the title. I think that was clear again today. We tried to do a three-stop, and I think it was quite good. It was quite racy, but we also needed it because we had actually quite a bit of degradation on the tires. So I think that was good. Unfortunately, then of course the safety car came out at the end, and we basically ran out of tires to use, and the hard tire was clearly not the right tire. I mean, when you only have 6 laps to go, everyone can go flat out, and I was severely grip limited on the hard.
Just before that moment, it was like, would you rather be a sitting duck in third or a sitting duck in first had you stayed out for the safety car or not pitted when you did and just tried to cling on to those tires?
Of course, afterwards, I mean, we have to look at it again. Of course, new tires, or at least fresh tires, they do make quite a bit of a difference as well. So I think no one really expected maybe that the hard tire was so poor. But when it was only 6 laps, maybe it would have been better to stay out, yes. But that's, of course, a bit easier to say right now.
And just finally for me, leading up to the end of the race there, you were saying in the car that the ride is completely broken. You were unhappy about Lawson and Behrman's tussle in front of you, and then on the radio when GP came on and said, you need to give the place back, there was a lot of frustration going on in the car. Is that what resulted in the move at the end of the race? Is that where it came from? Because you pull off something like the move in Imola, and we all see what an incredible driver you are. And it's horrible to see that shine taken off.
Is it?
With a comment about that. I think so, for fans and for kids watching, I think so.
Yeah? Okay, well, that's your opinion.
Yeah?
Yeah. We leave it there.
All right, thanks, Max.
Maybe, I don't know what to say, but he just had the 10-second time penalty. The stewards are saying that Max Verstappen just turned his car to the, let's say, George Russell, but if you look at the other angle on that position, it seems like George Russell is hitting to him. I think it was a very complicated position for what happened with George Russell, but I hope everyone will have a opinion about that, and just I can't wait to see on the comments what our viewers will think about the position. If you look to the whole race of Max Verstappen, I think he just he was like driving perfectly today on his car, but and also he had on the last 5 laps that moment with the Charles Leclerc. Leclerc, he is on the stewards on a moment. It will be very interesting if they also gave a penalty to the Charles Leclerc for that position, and because after that George Russell will let's say take the third position, and Max Verstappen, just everything was going well on for him today, but I think with that safety car just complicated their plan, and he needed to go with the hard tires, and with that good save, he lost his position to the Charles Leclerc. But if you have watched the race, after the race, he was just so aggressive and so nervous. But just one more time, just don't forget to give your thoughts about that position, and let's listen to Charles Leclerc.
Charles, you said you sacrificed Saturday for Sunday, and it did pay off in the end. Firstly, let's start with that and not how that last stint was, and just tell me, did you create that podium today by what you did yesterday, do you believe?
I think so. Because the first stint was super strong, and for me was super strong because we had that tire that we didn't use yesterday. I mean, on the TV page maybe you were seeing scrub tire, but it was only a tire that had done an out and an in yesterday, so it was basically a new tire. And I absolutely didn't want to use that tire in qualifying in Q3. We could have. but I chose not to for today. And I think that is really the game changer for today. The second medium was worse than what I expected. I think P4 would have been possible. But luckily there was a safety car at the end. In Imola we were on the unlucky side of things. Today we were on the lucky side of things, and I'm happy to get the podium.
You said on the radio there's an explanation for this. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be an explanation. What do you mean? Do you mean that the team's just got to find out why the balance shifted so much in that last stint, or what's...
No, I know exactly the limitations for whatever reason, and we need to understand that changed massively from the first stint to the last stint. And the limitations were just a lot more difficult to manage in the last stint, and that's why we were losing a lot of pace compared to the first stint. We need to understand why, but I've got an explanation for it, so we'll discuss with the team. I obviously won't give too many details here, but I'm pretty sure I know from where it's coming from.
Is that new this weekend? You understanding it and knowing where it's coming from, or?
It's not something I expected, so yes, it's new from this weekend.
So that's a positive then, if there might be an answer there.
Yeah. I mean, we need to find a solution to it, which is not a given, but it's good that already we understand from where it's coming from.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Done.
Yeah, as you know, just yesterday played a gamble, and for today he didn't use that soft tire, and I think with the help of the luck, he just took the third position for the today. But I need to say one more time that he is right now on a moment at the stewards, and I'm just checking, do we have any news about the Charles Leclerc? Is he going to have any penalty or something like that? But no, until right now we don't have anything. And as I said, with that gamble yesterday and with today's luck, that safety car, I think he just took that third position, the last position on the podium. But for today, like fourth and fifth position were possible for the Ferrari. That was the expected, but the third position was a little bit a surprise for the Charles Leclerc. And let's listen to George Russell what he's going to say about that position with Max Verstappen.
Hi, George.
Hello.
I need to ask you, obviously, about the Max incident. We've had our guys watch it, and they think it looks, from what they can see, is intentional. They're obviously not in the car seeing the onboards, the intentional from Max. What is your take on it?
I mean, I was as surprised as you guys probably were. I mean, I've seen those sort of manoeuvres before on simulator games and in go-karting, but never in Formula One. Ultimately, we came home in P4 and he came home in P10, so I don't really know what was going through his mind. It felt deliberate in the moment, so yeah, it was a bit surprising.
Are you surprised it was only a 10-second penalty? Because there are options for a black flag and other penalties.
That's not really my place to say, to be honest. Right now I'm not even going to give it any thought, because we've got our own problems to deal with, which is trying to make our car go faster. We were sort of destined to finish P4 today, probably ahead of Charles and behind Max. Obviously the safety car at the end to shuffle things up, but it's down to the stewards to decide if it was deliberate or not. But obviously, you know, Max is such an amazing driver, and so many people look up to him. It's just a shame something like that continues to occur. It just seems totally unnecessary, and it never seems to benefit himself. So, yeah.
I think that's the point. He makes those incredible moves like he does in Imola, and then he gets frustrated, as we hear him being told on the radio, to give the place back to you. And we see something like that then takes away from that fantastic driving. He was told to give it back, and he was angry on the radio. I'm not saying it was intentional. I've never raced like that, so I have no idea. But to people watching, it takes the shine off what can be brilliant performances. So you're GPDA chairman. Can you guys talk? What can you do?
I mean, you know, I'm too close to give my opinion on behalf of the drivers, but you know, you see, it was like in Austin last year, some of the best moves ever, and then you go to Mexico and sort of lets himself down a bit, and then you go to Imola, one of the best moves that we've all seen in a long time, and then this happens. So, as I said, it cost him and his team a lot of points, and Charles and I actually dropped off like a stone on those last 2 laps. He probably could have came back to fight for the podium. So, as I said, I'm not going to lose sleep. We've got our own problems to deal with, and that's making our car go faster.
All right, thank you very much, George. Thanks.
Yeah, he's so right, and he just talked so wisely. And as I said on the Max Verstappen, like if you look inside of like Max Verstappen fan, you will be maybe use that angle, the camera angle from the outside that looks like George Russell is hitting to the Max Verstappen. But if you are a fan of George Russell, you will see in the onboard camera that Max Verstappen is actually hitting to George Russell. I still don't know what was thinking, as Russell said, what was thinking there, Max Verstappen, but I think for me, for us, for the Formula One fans, just we want to have this kind of moments and to have talks about these kind of moments, and I think that this kind of moments makes the Formula One much interesting to watch. Let's listen to Oscar Piastri.
Oscar, I've got very little written about your race because there was so much else going on. You got away, you controlled it. It's been an incredibly dominant weekend. How are you feeling?
Very proud, very satisfied. I don't have much more to add. It's been a really good weekend from basically start to finish. FP2 to now, it's been pretty much perfect. So we executed everything we needed to today. A great start, managed the first stint well, good pit stops, stuck to our guns on our strategy, and we executed it pretty much perfectly, so I can't ask for more.
We heard you on the radio in the formation lap. They were saying the timing was a tiny bit late on the clutch on the first one you did when you went out for that, and you absolutely nailed the second one. Is it these tiny details that are creating this championship lead?
Definitely, yes. But I mean, that's a normal bit of feedback. You always try and get the clutch drop exactly where the engineers said it. But there's a human element, so you're just trying to do a better job. But no, I think we're always on those details, and I think this weekend in particular we've done a very good job of finding every bit we can. I think Friday we thought quite a few teams were in the mix with us, and after Saturday I think we felt like we found some more. So that was very satisfying, and I think today we had really strong pace.
I have to ask you about what you saw in the cool-down room, because obviously we hear what's said in there, and you guys saw the incident with Max and George. What's your take on it?
I kind of need a bit more context around it. It obviously saw Max went off at turn 2, but I didn't really understand what went on at turn 5. Like, I didn't know if it was a misunderstanding or what, but I'll have a look later.
So you don't want to comment?
I don't really know what happened apart from they crashed into each other. So I'm not going to comment on something I don't know about.
Okay, that's fair enough. Thanks, Oscar. Thank you.
As I said on yesterday, like Oscar Piastri will dominate the race and will win the race. He just was a little bit stressed out after that safety car, but he just took what he deserved from this race. And as I'm saying always, like if things keeps going like this, definitely he will be world champion this year for the McLaren. Let's listen to Lando Norris.
Was that you and Max together? It was. I can't believe you turned on him like that. That was crazy.
Well, I have to ask you that because we saw you guys watching it in the cool-down room, and you said you've done that in Mario Kart.
It's clear.
You said you've seen that in Mario Kart, but not on the track before. What did you make of it when you guys saw
heard that?
it? Yeah, we heard it.
Right. No comment.
You've raced alongside Max. You've tried to get past Max in the past. Do you think he feels people are finding ways to get past him now?
My race was very good today, and the team had a great one too. I was happy with my pace. Just too difficult to follow around a track like this. So yeah.
I'll put another spin on it then. If kids are watching and they go karting and they try and move on that, they've seen that on a Formula One race. Is it an example that should be set?
That's not for me to say. You know the answer.
Okay. I think I do, but I can't say that. I'm not a racer. I'm not a Formula One
Neither can
driver. Can you understand being in the car and being frustrated?
Of course, I get frustrated all the time. That's life, you know. That's sport. But yeah.
Let's talk about your start, because unfortunately you got ahead. You lost about 4 seconds, we reckon, in total by that. So is that what cost you a win today, or challenging Oscar for the win today, do you think, or was it not there?
That's difficult to say. I think maybe it lost me out some opportunity to try to. I don't think it cost me the win. Oscar was quick when he needed to be. He was always saving it. He had clean air. It's not like I was half a second a lap quicker than Oscar. There's a couple hundredths, maybe a tenth at times that splits us, and as soon as you get within 3 seconds, you're easily losing 1/10. So it was just the dirty air cost me more than anything. I had my chances to try and catch back up. It was just not, especially around this track with the tires screaming for help all the time. It's just not possible. So yeah, I maybe lost out some opportunities to attack a little bit more and put him under a bit more pressure, but I don't think necessarily a win was possible today.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, he just lost opportunity from the beginning of the race to lost his place on a Max Verstappen, and he's right. All of the race was Piastri was on a clean air, but we have the new Valtteri Bottas in Formula One, and that one is definitely Lando Norris. And let's listen to Lewis Hamilton what happened actually there to lost his position to the Nico Hulkenberg.
Hi Lewis, we heard the radio at the end where you said something is wrong with this car. Can you tell us how it felt and what you were dealing with?
Not particularly, it was just not a great day.
Also on the strategy call, would you talk about that to us?
Strategy was good, team did a great job, that's it.
I hate seeing you in this mood. It's hard to see you in this mood.
What do you want me to say?
I know
I just
this
had a
is
really
what,
bad day and I've got nothing to say.
I totally understand that.
It was a difficult day. There's nothing else to add to it. It was terrible. There's no point explaining it. It's not your fault. I just what else to say?
I do understand that. I just hope that they find answers for you.
I'm sure they won't. It's probably just me.
I don't know what's happening with Lewis Hamilton, is he losing his skills or the problem is the car, but if you say today the car was a problem, we can't say that because we know that the same car what did actually on this race, the people, the internet started to ask a lot of questions. It was a wrong thing to do to bring Lewis Hamilton on a Ferrari and to just leave Carlos Sainz like that. But I think this season we will hear this kind of talks on the internet, this kind of questions on the internet, and I don't know. I really don't know what to say about Hamilton. It was the disaster today to see to get overtaken by Nico Hulkenberg with the stakes car, because everyone knows that what kind of car they have. Let's listen to Nico Hulkenberg.
Nico, when the boss comes down to the driver's pen to congratulate you, you know it's been a good day.
Yes.
Huge congratulations. That must feel like a win almost for the team.
It feels very good, very sweet. It's been a long time coming since Melbourne to have a result, and then a big one like that is obviously very, very sweet. And it's funny and ironic how yesterday, was a bad day, but in the end it was also somewhat the golden ticket, to have all the fresh and new tires. I think there was a big delta between used and new tires today, so yeah, that somehow really paid off today. Great lap, great start, great first lap, which really put me in the race, turned things around very quickly, and after that it's just performance. The update is working, and that's the best recipe.
As I was going to ask you, where did that pace come from? You do believe it was the update today, and then conditions just suited you? And
no, I think I put it mostly down to the update. Then maybe the new flexi wing stuff that other teams may have lost a bit more than us. On top of that, and just a good feeling with the car by now. Found my rhythm with the car, and it sort of clicked. So yeah, very happy.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, just congratulations to him with that car to make that kind of moves and to finish the in the 5th place at Spanish Grand Prix. I think it was the most interesting thing to watch today, and the just most surprising thing was to see on the timetable when he just got overtake to Lewis Hamilton and finished his best result in this track. Just one more time, congratulations with that car to do this. It was absolutely amazing, and just unlucky guy on today. Just listen, just go to listen. I forgot his name, I'm sorry, Carlos Sainz.
Carlos, I know you would have wanted more from today, but can you talk us through it, how the car felt? Still plenty of positives that you can take from the triple header as a whole, going to a very different circuit in Canada next time out, of course.
Yeah, the only good thing was Imola, Monaco and here was disappointing, so hopefully in Canada we will be back in the pace.
Yeah, they, as you know from yesterday's interviews and the other stuff on the internet, everyone knew that they will just struggle a lot on this track. Just track doesn't suit on this Williams car, and he did the best of himself. And lastly, we are going to listen Fernando Alonso. He took his first points for this year on his home Grand Prix. Let's listen to him and also what he's going to say, and we will finish the video.
Fernando was looking really good early on, then you had that moment through the gravel, but you got back into the points at the end. You got them on the board. You look really fired up out there, determined to put on a display for those home fans. I mean, some great moves. That must have been pretty enjoyable from your side.
Yeah, it was a little bit a higher level of risk in this race because overtaking is difficult, following is difficult, it's killing the tires. So yeah, we were aggressive, but as I said, I was expecting a little bit more from the race pace. But let's try to take the points that we scored today and build the momentum from now on.
Yeah, let's hope to build the momentum from now to have more points on that Aston Martin. As you know, he was just driving alone for his team today because Lance Stroll had health problems and he just wasn't able to just let's say to race on this race. And we are at the end of the video. Just don't forget to like it, to comment your thoughts about the drivers interviews, and also to subscribe to the channel.